Alright, welcome to the People's Garage. This episode's going to cover misfire codes for individual cylinders. Many times you'll have multiple cylinder misfires also. Most of the time it's just going to be one cylinder, such as P0301. That'll be your code when you read your check engine light, and that'll indicate a misfire in cylinder 1. The numbers really represent the cylinder. 310 indicates cylinder 10 if you have a V10. If you have a V8, of course, it'll only go up to 308 for your vehicle. A quick way to identify a misfire. I want to explain a quick way to do this. That way, if you don't need all the information, you don't have to watch the full show here. You can just get a quick explanation of it if you already have a basic idea of what's going on here. A quick way that I check for a misfire is, of course, your check engine light's on. You got to pull the code and verify you do have a misfire, which will indicate 301 through 308 for an 8-cylinder in this case. Scan the code, find that cylinder. If you don't know where that particular cylinder is in your engine, you can Google firing order or cylinder 1 for your vehicle, such as 2004 Chevy Impala firing order. When you type that in, go to images, look at the diagram, and locate that cylinder. Is it on the passenger side, driver's side, up front, in the back? Okay, so find that cylinder that has the misfire. If your vehicle has coils on top of the cylinders, such as, basically, I mean, you don't have a distributor, you don't have a coil pack, you have individual coils plugged in on your cylinders, then you want to swap those coils. So if you have a misfire in cylinder 4, take the coil from cylinder 4 and move it to cylinder 3. Take the one from 3 and put it on 4. Swap the spark plug from cylinder 4, if it has the misfire, and put it on, say, cylinder 2, and take the plug from 2 and put it in 4. Now clear the check engine light. Run the vehicle till the check engine light comes back on with the misfire, and then watch where the misfire went, if it even moved at all. If it stays on cylinder 4, you know that that's not the issue. It's not a coil or a plug because you just moved those to other cylinders. If the light comes back on for cylinder 2, you know that it's going to be the spark plug because that's where you moved the spark plug from cylinder 4. If it comes on cylinder 3, you know it's a coil because that's where you put the coil from cylinder 4. So the problem's going to follow, the misfire is going to follow, okay, wherever you put that bad part. So if it comes back on one of those cylinders, replace that part. In other words, a coil or a plug if it comes on that cylinder you moved it to. If the misfire stays on the cylinder 4, you want to check the fuel injector if possible. If it's buried underneath the intake, it might not be worth your while, but if you can get to the fuel injector and swap it with another cylinder, do that, and then see if it comes back on which cylinder. If it stays on the same cylinder, you want to do a compression check, and if that doesn't reveal anything, do a leak down check, okay? Those are a little bit more advanced things that you'll do. The engine needs to run spark, fuel, and air, and these are only concerning misfires. For the spark, you want to check the plugs, the wires. If you have individual coils, you want to swap those, like I said. The cap and rotor if you have a distributor system. Those are pretty cheap. If you haven't done those in a while, just go ahead and replace them, the cap and the rotor. The PCM is going to be a last resort, okay, but it does affect spark, and it is a rare, 0.5% of the time, the issue. The fuel, and we're not going to check the pump or the filter because those affect all the cylinders. So if you have a cylinder 304 misfire, it's not going to be the pump or the filter because those don't just affect cylinder 4. It can be an injector, however, and I'm going to go over that in a second. It can be a connector for the injector if it's not plugged in properly or broken. It can be the wiring for the injector, or another rare instance, it can be the PCM controlling the fuel for that particular cylinder. Air can be affecting a misfire due to an intake leak, letting air into just that cylinder, a valve issue, or a compression issue. Okay, so we'll go over all that right now. Spark, first off, can be checked with a spark checker. These plug in where your ignition wire would go, and they show you if spark's coming through. They can plug into either the distributor side or the coil side, or they can plug right on top of the spark plug, and then the wire just plugs into the other end. You fire up the engine. If you see spark, you know it's good. If it appears weak compared to another cylinder, you might want to check your plug, or check your coil, or check whatever it is at a firing device, the cap or the rotor. That could be causing an issue for just that cylinder. Check the plug, though, the spark plug. Is it burnt, full of carbon, or fouled? Now, fuel command can be checked with a Noid light. They come in a little kit, such as this red box here. And what you do is you take the connector off your fuel injector and plug the Noid light that fits in your particular application in, then crank the engine. The light will come on if it's receiving power and ground. So all this does is tell you that the circuit for the fuel injector is working, and the computer is commanding it to come on. It doesn't necessarily mean the injector is opening and closing. All it does is tell you it's getting commanded to do so. But what you can do is once you verify it's getting power and ground and command, you can put a screwdriver up to the fuel injector while the engine's cranking or running and listen for click, 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 click. This will tell you that the pintle, which is the little valve in the fuel injector, is working. So you know it's getting power and ground. You obviously verified that with the Noid light. But if you don't have a Noid light, you can bypass that and just put the screwdriver up to it, because that'll tell you it's getting power and ground. Okay? Also, it'll tell you that it should be opening and closing. It could still have a dirty fuel injector, which means it's not going to put all the fuel out, but it is working like it should. Okay? Fuel delivery doesn't necessarily mean it's delivering just because it's opening and closing. It could be restricted. It could be dirty. But the fuel delivery can be checked using a scan tool, if you have one, to monitor the oxygen sensor waveforms and watch for whatever side of the engine, in other words, what bank is running lean. Okay? So what I mean by that is if you watch the fuel trim data, because if an O2 sensor reports a lean condition, the computer's going to tell the fuel injectors to stay open a little bit longer. A lean condition is going to be the result of a fuel injector not firing properly. So not enough fuel's coming out, or any at all. If it's not working, it's not going to put out any fuel. If it's really restricted, it's not going to be putting out enough. That's going to cause a lean condition. That means too much air for that side of the engine. So if it's a lean condition, the computer is going to tell the fuel injectors to stay open a little bit longer to make up for this condition. And this will be shown by the fuel trims as a positive number if you have access to fuel trims on a scan tool. Now, check long-term fuel trim, as it is more reliable, and short-term fuel trim, or I should say than short-term fuel trim, for diagnosis purposes. If you see a higher fuel trim on the same bank as the Misfire, you might have a fuel injector not supplying ample fuel. But, however, air must be checked also, especially if long-term fuel trim is increased in the bank affected by the Misfire, because leaking air can also cause that increased fuel trim. Check for intake manifold leaks, like I explained earlier, using supplemental fuel. And then also watch the fuel trims and the oxygen sensors on the scan tool and see. Because if you spray the fuel around the intake and you see the jump in the fuel trim or the oxygen sensor going rich, you know it's sucking in that fuel. So you know your intake manifold's leaking. If you verify no leaks in the intake gasket and you can verify the spark is good on the affected cylinder, then you can be more confident that any increase in fuel trim for whatever bank the Misfire's on is a result of lack of fuel from the injector on that cylinder that has the Misfire. I know that got a little bit confusing there towards the end, but I want to thank you for watching. If you're not clear about Misfires, I know that it's a long, I could spend all day talking about it because it's very complicated. I tried to squeeze this in pretty quick. If you have any questions, email me personally at mypeoplesgarage@gmail.com. Thank you for watching.